Hi, this is Tony Self. This video is how I use Google Forms as a ProVisor Troika Manager. If those are not familiar with ProVisors, it's a great institution. It's a membership networking group where you meet with a home group and then you have these luncheon or breakfast meetings afterwards, and you need to organize all these professionals to meet. One thing that I've learned with other ProVisor groups is that the use of Google Forms is both easy and really a great way to get organized of who you want to meet with, if you're not going to meet, and all these a lot of things going through that. So this video is a session where I had with another up-and-coming Troika manager and walked her through how I do my system, and both a little bit involved because I've added a bit of the tech to it, but then also making it at the very end, the conclusion of the video, the training, we decided I'll make it a little bit easier as well. All this will be provided to you as a download of the actual Google form, the spreadsheet, the images that I'm using, and that we have access to all that good stuff, and the GPT I created to extract out the ProVisor directory into a spreadsheet and walk you through that. So hope you enjoy this video. And if you got any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, you can download all this material on the school community for free. Just head on over and you can access all this great stuff. So thank you for watching this, and let's get with the video. This might be, so I'm going to have two levels for you. One is where super easy, and the other one is how I do it, which is a little bit involved, but you can totally do it, especially with the notes. And then what I'm planning to do is provide all the copies of everything we're going to talk about for you to download and have access to and replicate it. And again, this is not a one and done. If you have like, okay, I don't get this, or tell me what I'm doing wrong, just give me a holler. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Just you got my cell phone, I believe. Just give me a holler.
Okay, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I love like being efficient, and I have been using AI. I did use AI last month for it. Probably not as efficient as you did because people were still emailing me requests, but I basically like uploaded, here's where what the past meetings were, here's the group of people, here's the practice, and then it kind of did it for me. But yeah, I was trying to think like, how am I gonna, because the people change each time and you want to keep track of what's been done before. So I did like on your form that you sent that said that you could specifically say like who you don't want to, not that you don't want to see them, but you've already met with them. So I felt like that was a nice feature where maybe it's taking that burden off of you of figuring out, have you already been with this person before?
Right, and let me tell you the beauty of the form. And there is again, I just took what others have done and I just made it my own. So this is, I would say, best practices for Troika management. I'm gonna share my screen. The reason why I like the Troika form, and this is the Troika form we have, and this is a copy one which I'm gonna send you access to this after, and be by end of day, I'll have this ready for you, is that just what you described. I don't want to receive emails because I get enough emails as it is, right? And you probably get a ton of emails, and I'm afraid that it's going to go into spam. Someone might have it. There might be, the way their system's set up, and my system might not like it. What's nice about this is it goes to the one form, and then our group leader sends it out each month. Say, okay, go to the Troika form, and this is the actual Troika, and then it's connected to a nice spreadsheet. So this is a copy one here. So, and this is where I did a little different. So it just, I don't have it where you just put your name in. We'll just put Bob Jones, and then your email, and then this is not tied. This is just an easy way. You'll see that whenever there's a little asterisk, it's required, and you can make it not required or required. I do require that. That way I know who it is. Yeah. Because most people will know their names and email address. That's one thing I figured out.
Bare minimum, yeah.
Yeah, what I saw though is when the other Troika forms, they just had a regular text box, and that's the easy way to do it. Just put the name in who you want to go with. But then I discovered some people don't know the names, or they may misspell it, or they're not going to be at the meeting, right? So what I did, and then the meeting date, I just have it where they just pick the date. So we'll just pick the date here. You could probably have it hard-coded if you want, but I just make it, this is a simple way to do it. So what I did is I upload the list of people who are actually gonna attend that meeting. So then you don't have to go and hunt for who that person is. And then what I also provide is a little bit of extra detail. Their job title as well is their company name. And this kind of gives me a quick way to just, instead of going through the photo, which you should, I mean, the photo's nice. It gives me a quick way to see, okay, I want to work with Roy Jimenez. He's a partner at T.L. Lux. I like working with attorneys. Marcella Miller, she's a home care and hospice. Maybe we'll have that. So what's nice is that you click it and it just fills it in. So then you have like 3 choices. You can do multiple choices, up to you. And I'll show you how I do this. And you get there. And then this, I think it's a little bit more involved the way I do it, but to me, it's very clean. Or you can have a person that doesn't want a Troika. This happens usually day of, because I don't want to do a Troika, or it's okay, and I'll make a note when I'm there at the meeting, or beforehand they'll say no Troika. That way, because I do the Troikas the day before, so it's all ready to go. And then when I'm at the meeting,
that was what I was going to ask you, is the timing on it, because I've heard spoken to different people about timing, and I do think having a specific drop dead timeline, and then just being able to do it when it's fresh is good. I think last time I did it right after the meeting, but I hadn't given a timeline of like, please before the meeting let me know what you want. But are you uploading the options that, like, on your option 1, 2, and 3 scroll down? Is that something you're doing? Because I think like the GL sends out a couple days before the roster.
Right.
So once you get that, that's when you upload it, or
right.
you create it?
Yes, what I do. And I created a little AI bot that will scrape the ProVisor for you automatically, and you can drop into a spreadsheet. And I'll show you. Again, I tend to go a little bit, because I'm technical. To me, it's not too bad, but then I've worked with others and they go, whoa, that's just too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't have to do that. You can just keep it super simple. But to answer your question, I think it's important. I liked it as a ProVisor member is when I have my Troika right there, because that way, trying to get on people's schedules. I know with attorneys is a bit different because you have courts and that type of thing, but most of the time it's encouraged if you can get the Troika announcements there to meet with them first before you go. And then usually because otherwise the email back and forth is sometimes hair pulling. So I try to get it right there, and I do that. So having a deadline is important. And then what you'll find, and when I'm there, I'll have my laptop, and then I'll go and I'll take a roster of who's there, and then I'll notice some people are not there, and then I'll remove them and make adjustments to the Troika through ProVisors online. And then if someone says, oh, I'm not going to do a Troika today, then I remove them. So that's the kind of fluidity that will happen. And then usually what you try to do is like, okay, you got 30 minutes. If you're going to have any changes or no Troikas, or you cannot say, look, that's it, you're done. It's your call how you want to do it, right? Because you want to enjoy the meeting as well. But I like it to do it right there at the meeting.
So while the meeting is going on, you're finalizing and then getting out the assignments.
Yeah, I have. So the night before, I'll group everybody from the request form, and then the morning of, then I'll see and I'll take the roster of who is there and who's not there. And then I'll make adjustments on the fly while I'm there. And then if, because you don't want to put them in a Troika if they're not present, unless they want one. Sometimes they do. It's it's your game. But then I send email Troika right there, usually right before, and everyone gets it on their phone. I said just reference your phone and talk to your Troika. And then what I do is I'll show you kind of how I do it. I keep a PDF, and I'll then for future Troikas, because there's the ProVisors. It's a little bit of kind of ebb and flow how you can figure out have they had meetings with them prior. That's a bit of more of a, you just have to review what they've been to beforehand. And some people are very active, some are not, that kind of thing. But what I like about the Troika request form, going back to this one here, is that this is not going to my email. It's going to a form, and then they can reference who they want, and then also who they don't want to meet with. Maybe there's somebody that they met with them multiple times. Like this. Go ahead. I don't want to meet with Tony Self. He's obnoxious, and you can. And then I get that sometimes, and it's fair because sometimes they don't want to meet. Or I have somebody here. I have guest Troika requests. Somebody's on the list, and then what's nice is once the person they click submit, it submits a form, and they can submit as many as they want, and then it saves it to this spreadsheet. Let's see if it tied up in here. I have it set up here. Okay. Then let me go ahead and go to the Troika request. I know you have to sign. There we go. Summary response view and sheets. So now it's saved in this spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet is what I use when I day before or day of, and I can see, okay, their first choice, who they want to work with, and then I have it. And I've noticed that Troika managers all have a different way of doing it. I was sitting next to Regina, who is in one of my affinity groups, and she has a nice little Word doc she uses. She color codes it, and I go, okay, that's interesting. I mean, or you can use AI. I mean, I did use AI too. I'll drop in the whole list. Okay, here's a list of people, group them in groups of 3s, and then just give it to me, and that was what I did. And you could do that too. Yeah. To me, that's as easy. But what's nice in the spreadsheet? Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question about the guest Troika request. So, is that someone who is guesting, that's where they fill in?
Yeah, sometimes we'll have guests that maybe are not in the field, and that's I I probably could remove that if I really want to, because I really have no one really used it. It's just, the form is what you want to put. So it's just how you want to keep managed if you have some circumstances brought up there. But we have somebody who's a guest that's not on the form, because I've seen that a few times. That's why I have it in there.
Because the drop down people those are just your core group that you have.
Those are all everybody who registered. Those are also in addition to the group people. So let me show you here.
So if a guest registered, wouldn't they be on the drop down?
And not unless they're a member yet.
Okay.
Sometimes they're not a member yet. We'll have other people who are not members yet. So this is the form.
So if I come guest in your group, I'm a member and I guest, will I be on the drop down?
You will. You will be in the photo list. So this is an example of last month's photo list. And this just happened to be member only. Now, if you register, when you register for guesting and they approve it, you'll be in that photo list, and then you're in this photo list here. Now, the thing is that this photo list, you could probably copy from there. So what I did is this is a PDF document, right? So here's a PDF document, everything. And what I do is I created a GPT that's available called the Tectoni PDF directory extractor, and I just take that and it's just through ChatGPT, it's free. I drop it in there, and then I'll just tap enter, and then it will extract everybody into a spreadsheet for me automatically.
Okay. That's what I did the first time. I said, put this into a list, and it was nice because then it also included like what they do in their area, so that when I said group these into 3 or if necessary 4 groupings, but have it make sense where people are in the same industry, or there's like good, cross over, and it did a pretty good job, and it explained why it did each grouping. So right. I found that helpful.
Yeah, because what's nice about these PDF documents is the PDF documents, they have the data in it. So when you look at these documents, you can see that ChatGPT is pulling correct names, their information. So that's all ready to go. So I can say, okay, summarize on screen. It's bad about ChatGPT, you don't need to spell anymore. And it gives you everybody here. So then I can take everybody and I can say create a CSV sheet. That's a common separated value sheet to download. Oh, it's still going. And I can have it, since the data's in there now, I can then create the spreadsheet for this, and then I can then work what I was doing beforehand with my Troika sheet. Have you used Google Forms before? It's pretty easy. And like I said.
And it's just something that's available as long as you have a Gmail account?
Yeah, it's all free. Okay. That's why I like it. So I'm creating a CSV sheet. So here's the Troika request. So what's nice is that so this is how it looks when you first create the Troika. Let me show the form here. So this is the Troika form, okay? And you'll see that this is how it looks at the admin level, creating it. And this, again, my choice part, this is involved. And you don't have to use this. You can just do a text box and let them type in the name, and you'll get interesting responses. But people are pretty good though. Just copy and paste in there. That's the easiest way to do it. You don't have to do what I'm doing. That way they get first choice. The reason why I like this is that this is reflective of who's registered. So then someone can't be asking for someone else that's not going to be there. And I guess it really doesn't matter. But if I wanted to create this choice and make it dead simple, I would just make this a text box, and then they could fill in the first choice, second choice, just like this option here, this guest Troika request, short answer text, very easy. And then you don't have to go through what I'm doing here, because what this involves is taking the data from that spreadsheet, the photo, and then extracting it. I see it's trying to do a CSV here. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, it's ChatGPT, you get what you pay for. So I'm gonna do this one more time. So I'm dragging over the PDF document once more, create a list. See that? Jeez. Might have a weird angle too. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
This used to take so long to do.
What we did a few years ago without it.
So that's cool. How are you with spreadsheets?
My husband's a lot better, fancier than I am. He's an engineer, and he's got a whole crazy.
God bless you. Engineers are fun. We love our engineer clients, but my wife, she loves forms. And whenever we have an engineer client, I just turn her on. I say, okay, go with all your forms, because she went to like law school, but she went there for part-time. And then, so she'll sit with the engineers for hours, and they love the data. My sister-in-law is married to an electrical engineer, and he has all of his info. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Okay, so you take the roster with the pictures, drop it into chat, say, make me extract these, and then you ask it to make you a spreadsheet. And then you use that spreadsheet and upload it into the Google Forms so that you have the correct names to drop down and choose.
Yeah, and so usually what I'll do is I'll drop it into Excel spreadsheet, and mainly just to kind of format it a little bit better. So you'll see that this is directly from the chat, and this is the different things here. And then what I like to do is I say, okay, let's go ahead and let's sort this by the information here. So I'll take this and we're going to sort it, and I'll sort this by the first name, and then that way it looks a little bit nicer. And then I like to have separation. I'm kind of weird in a lot of ways, so I'll do in between here, and I'll show you how I did that. And then I'll go and then I'll just do right between there. I don't know what you call this one. I like this one. You know what this is called? The straight line?
Column?
That one?
Oh.
I don't know what it's called. It's nice and neat though.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
okay.
and then so then what I have is now I have it all this. These are all the attendees from that photo, and then so you don't have to type it. The GPT thing will do it for you automatically. And then going back to the Troika request form, and then every month I go back here for the next thing, and I'll go under first choice, and I'll just delete everything that's here.
Got it.
And I do this for all three. And then I just go back to my spreadsheet that I created, and I will copy everybody here, Control C, then go back to the Troika form, and then I just select that there, and I just paste it, and it automatically will create everybody inside there.
Oh, nice. You don't have to do one by one.
No. If I was one by one, I would never do this. The fact that I had to delete all like this is a big pain in the bum, and I go here, third choice, and I'll just go up, and so I'm just deleting everybody here. And I update this, and then what happens is once I have the course, so some people will say, oh, I'm not going to make it. I might go in here and remove, like say Tom's not going to be there, so I'll remove Tom. And then I go to the node Troika, and same thing, just the column, and I just remove. This one I just usually put the name, so because it's a smaller one, so I'll go back to that spreadsheet. And this is how I do it. Not to say that you need to do it this way, and I'll just take the name, and then I'll go here, paste it. And then it's ready to rock and roll. So now this is a nice drop-down menu. So if I want to see this Troika request form, I go back here, review, and it uses the same URL over and over again. So you don't have to just use the same one. And now the choices are there, and these are all the updated ones from that list. I like this experience, but this is me. I talked to a few other Troika managers, and they didn't like what I was showing them. They like easy. Like for instance, what do you like? What are you thinking?
I guess I do see the benefit of it because it's a little bit, it's better for the group because you're not going to, like you said, you're not doing requests of people that aren't there. But at the same time, if people are doing multiple people, you're probably going to get at least one of them to bear it. So it does sound like, I don't know, I'll play around with it. It does eliminate the step if you just do the text box.
Right, you don't have to do any of that stuff I showed you.
You don't have to do any of that. And I do like the idea of not getting emails because I also feel like I need to respond to people too and say, and I felt like I was explaining myself like, hey, sorry, like you got this, I had already done it. And next time I'll do my best to make it happen because I want people to know I care and I don't want them to feel like their voice isn't being heard. But I like the idea of not feeling the obligation to respond to an email or explain why I wasn't able to honor the request.
Right, and then so the other easiest way to do it, kind of going back to that Troika form, instead of doing what I'm doing here, which is I know a little bit involved, but it's just you go, okay, we're just gonna use this one here instead, and just do the guess Troika, and we'll use a short answer and just replicate this 3 times, first, second, third choice, and you're ready to rock and roll. And then just
if I go into Google Forms, I kind of can just copy the link you sent me, kind of just create forms like name, email, date, meeting date. And
I'm going to provide you, so that on that link after I'm done here, I'm going to provide you the sample spreadsheet that I use, the copy, the actual form too, and then a sample. This is a link to my ChatGPT, and then also the cover. I think you should have nice pictures. I'm gonna provide you a link to my Canva. This is in Canva. I'm not sure if you have a Canva account or not. They're free if you want to. And this is so you could take this and change the background.
I'm not seeing your screen.
I'm sorry. I'm going to share it. It's okay. All right. So this is the image that I provide you. It's a PNG file. So I created this in Canva, and you just go ahead and type it, and you can just change it to your group, and you can change the background to whatever you want. What's the name of your group?
We're the North OC. We're the 007.
Oh, that's great. You can do like a James Bond type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I was just thinking that. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good, fun one to play with the picture.
Yeah. So this is very easy. So in Canva, and I'll get you a direct link to this one as well. And you can just change and put the 007. And I would, what's nice about 007, you can have different backgrounds, you can change the elements. Canva's dead simple. Or you can just keep it blank, and then you just take that image, save it, share it out, and then you just upload it here. and you can change, and then this will then put it right up there. You can make this type of change there.
Awesome.
And then
so then does Google Forms automatically, once information is submitted, automatically put it to a Google Sheet, or is that a step that you've created?
You have to attach the sheet to it. So if you look here, so this is the admin view of it, and you'll see there's some options up here. You got some add-ons, help me create a form, which you got a custom theme. And if you want to preview it before the publish, you can take a preview, and this will show you can't submit, but it'll show you how it looks if you were to provide this to somebody and go out of preview mode. And then you'll notice there's an option here called settings. And then under settings, you can see, okay, here are the defaults, question defaults. You can make this a quiz, which you're not going to do. And then the responses is where you assign it to view in sheets. And this is where you link the sheets to it. So then you actually link it or unlink that actual sheet to it. And you just play with it. I mean, the thing is, what's nice about it is I'm always of the opinion, just try it out. You can't break it. Make a copy and just, do what you want to do. And it's easy. And nowadays, with the internet, so you use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
All right.
That and Copilot we're using a lot.
Okay, cool. Do you have the Atlas browser?
I don't think so, no.
So this is the Atlas browser. I use this all the time. So I click on here, click Ask ChatGPT. It actually sees my screen. And I can ask it questions like, how do I link the spreadsheet to
recording stopped
Google Forms? And then it'll walk you through exactly how to link it to it. And it sees your screen, or you can just ChatGPT and ask it, and it'll do the same thing.
Yeah, but it's nice it's in one window. You can.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, this is gonna really do a lot of cool stuff. But I'll provide all the spreadsheets for you, but you can see the responses here. And then one thing that I'll just share with you as you start to use this, once I'm done with the people, I just go to that spreadsheet, just a spreadsheet. I'll right click and I'll hide it. Then I haven't, and then next time anybody puts something in there, I know it's for the next meeting. That way I don't worry about the actual date. Because I have the dates, just you can pick any date. But because some people might send an email, I've had people that are going to be on vacation. They'll send me right after, no Troika, I'm going to be on vacation, that kind of thing.
Okay. So when you say like view in sheets and you link it to a sheet, do you just have to have a sheet created, or do you have to actually have like the categories that you want it to extract already?
It will create the sheet automatically for you.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's the thing. Or you can just assign it to the existing sheet, because it's pulling the columns, right? So going back to this, these are the columns, the name, the email, the meeting date, the choices. So when you see the sheet, it will automatically create this for you. So you don't have to have the spreadsheet, but if you wanted to have some data already there, say that you wanted to keep memorialized, you could put that in there and assign it to that. As long as you have this format, which is assigned to the way that whole sheet works, then you're ready to rock and roll. You can see here, There's just some test information I put in there, email, first choice, second choice, and then it just makes it nice and easy. I think it's nice and easy.
Yeah. So then this is the list if the day of someone doesn't show, or they get whatever, there's a reason that you need to tweak something, you tweak it within that sheet, and then do you upload that sheet back to ChatGPT and ask it to group people?
Well, usually day of, I already have had the groupings done, and usually I'm just going into ProVisors at that point, and I'm making the changes on the fly, just one by one.
But do you take your Google Sheets info and upload it to ChatGPT and ask it to do groupings? That makes sense?
You could. If the thing is, not all people are going to use a sheet. That's the thing. They should, but I only get maybe 20% of people using it if I'm lucky.
Okay.
You'll find that out too. They'll just show up.
I see what you're saying. Is you're only going to have responses there.
I think it's good form as a ProVisor to go and request. I request all the time because I want to make sure. I don't want to be at the Troika Manager still has to assign and they still have to be available. But I like be able to pick whom I want to speak to. But a lot of members don't do that. So the vast majority, they will not do it. They're just, they're there, and then you assign them. One thing I'll show you is that if you wanted to memorialize this information for the Troikas after you're done, and give you an example here. So because when they send an email, you don't get copied of all the Troikas. So if you wanted to know, okay, this is how I'm gonna build my database, is who was assigned to whom in the last time. So you go back to the managed Troikas of that time, you'll see here, this is everybody who is assigned to whom. So you can take this and drop into ChatGPT and say, okay, this was last month's Troikas. For this month, make sure that the same people are not assigned to one another. And that's what you can do with ChatGPT, which is nice. And I'm going to try to automate this a bit more. And what I like to do is I just do Control P, save as a PDF, and I save this document, And then this document has everything in there, and this is what I upload to ChatGPT to review, and it'll know automatically. So then you can then save this as a project folder and go from there too. Again,
Okay.
I overthink stuff, so I'm going to tell you that right now.
Because I was creating a just a regular Excel spreadsheet, and I had, okay, here are the December groupings, and then here are the January, and I was gonna upload that. But I think going back more than a month probably maybe is a little too much, because at some point there's got to be repeats.
Yeah. So they are. So you have project folders. So what I would do is, have you used the project folder in ChatGPT before? Okay, this is awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick here so I can show this to you.
I mooch off my husband's ChatGPT because he has the expensive one, and I've seen him, but I haven't actually done it.
It is so dead simple. So I'm gonna actually go into actual ChatGPT. This is the ChatGPT browser, and Gemini has it too. It's called Gems, but you can use
the browser.
The project folder, which I'm gonna show you.
Oh, got it. Okay.
All right, so let me go ahead. So okay, here's the ChatGPT desk thing. Okay, so when you go on there, so your husband, he probably has projects because he's an engineer. So
yeah,
these are called new projects. And you see that I have a lot of projects that I save. So this is ChatGPT. So you'll see that I have a bunch of project folders. So the way you think of folders, think of them as smart folders that you can give instructions to, and they're single purpose. So in this case, I do a lot of rentals. So I'll have rentals, and this folder, what it lives to do is rental information in Nevada, because I'm also licensed in Nevada. And you can give it instructions. So you can edit project, and you can give it different names, and also you can then give it instructions and also add files to it if you wanted to as well. And you can see these are detailed prompt instructions that I give it, and I can add, say, reference like for instance, if I do a ProVisors, and that's probably I'm going to do it, reference past ProVisors to make sure when I upload, it won't group them in the same group as much as possible. So you could then just add it to this project folder, drop it in there, and it will give you the suggestions and reference something else, and you're not to do any spreadsheets or anything. It's just you're uploading that PDF document I suggested, which is this particular PDF document that shows what was the last month. So I'm going to take these here, and I'm just going to reference that, upload in the project folder. So okay, here's the list. Group them based upon this. I don't want them to have more than try to make it as nice as possible. And then by the way, here's the people I want to be grouped with whomever. Because another thing too is you get the requests, then the people who are left, you want to group them. It gets involved. So
it's here's the picture roster of everyone's going, and I need them grouped, but take into consideration these requests from the Google Form sheet, and also be mindful of this. So it's kind of like three things you're uploading to it.
Right. And this, I think it's easier because I use ChatGPT for that. It said, okay, here's the people that want to be grouped. Here's the past that I've had. Create me the groupings that I want. Or what I'll do is that I'll take that list that I showed you previously when you do through ProVisors. It show you people who are not selected. I'll say, okay, here are the remaining people that haven't been put into a Troika, because I already created the Troikas people wanted, right? And then I'll go into, okay, I'll just take this and I'll say, here's a list of people who are remaining. Oops, there we go. And manage Troikas. And then I'll go, here's the list of people that haven't been assigned. These are unassigned people. And I'll just take this and then copy that into ChatGPT too, if I really wanted to as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm definitely going to use that form. I love that aspect of it. And yeah, I'm glad I have a little familiarity with playing around with the ChatGPT, because I was like, anytime I'm like, this is a lot of data, this is kind of a lot to think about, I'm going to use AI. So right. It was helpful last month. So I appreciate you going through your process with me, because I definitely think it's helpful for this type of stuff.
Yeah, and what's nice is that it gets it out of your email box, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah. And then there's some, I think you don't have to do what I'm doing, but just having the form, that might work out really well for you too.
At least at a minimum, yeah. And so do you tell people you have to submit on the form by like at least the day before the meeting, or do you kind of not have a deadline?
It's your rodeo. You can do what you want to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This was super helpful.
Cool.
We've got our meeting coming up. I think it's in 2 weeks. So
right.
I feel like I'm in a better position than I was last.
So I'll have everything ready to go. I'll send you the links to the form so you can use the form. And then I'll maybe posting the instructions too, so I have other people requesting the same type of stuff. And you can, you want me to make the simple form for you too, right? I'm going to create 2 forms. One that's like the crazy one, the way I do it, and the one that's the simple form.
Simple form would be just the text box where you.
Just the box.
Yeah, I think I may, at least the first time, may start with that, but maybe I'll get brave.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like I said, it's just me, and I tend to overcomplicate some things. So, but it would be, and that would live forever, right? You could use the same form, and have to even touch it. Just have to go to the spreadsheet. That's all I have to do. And what's nice too is you can then share that spreadsheet with your group leader if you really wanted to as well. And whoever is your backup Troika manager, which is I would recommend, you want to make sure you have a backup. Sounds like you already have one because the other gentleman's doing it for you, right?
Well, that was just Simon, the group leader, who for some reason, I think, because I asked him, how do I do this on the portal? And he was like, just send me them and I'll do it. I think because he just thought it might be easier than trying to explain it via email. I don't know if he's going to want to continue doing that, but I did have a girl offer and said, do you want to just do it together? Why don't we just save 15 minutes after the meetings and send these out? So I think, she would definitely be a good backup person. But so then you mean share the Google form requests with them?
Right. Just have a backup. I think it's important to have it because you may not be able to attend all meetings, and then if you're not going to be there, and then that way that person can then you can set it up for them, and then they can just be, because for example, my backup, I'm meeting with her on Friday, and it just so happens I can't go next month because I have a conflict with certification for HOA. So it's great because I asked, I know I needed a backup, and then when our other manager left, I was her backup. So I just walked right in there. It makes it nice and smooth, and if you're not going to be present, if you're going to be on vacation, you have somebody who can be ready to go. That way it doesn't go on the group leader's shoulders because they have a lot to do already.
Yeah.
And it's a smart way to do it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good tip to do. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you again for sharing all this wealth of knowledge. And I'm also going to play around with projects and Atlas and stuff now too.
Cool.
Just even
I'll send you, I'm creating a school community because I do a lot of speaking and it's for professionals. So you'll see a lot of my videos. You can go there and check it out.
Yeah.
And have fun.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's good to meet you. And to give my best to Amy. We tell her we miss her.
I will. Sorry we stole her from you.
You know what? Yeah, we were a little bummed out about it, but she's a bright star. You can't dim that.
Yes, she is. All right. Well, thank you again, Tony. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. You have a good one. If you need anything, just let me know and I'll send you the links and everything else. Any questions, just reach out.
Thank you.
All right.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Take care. Bye.